a historic 11th title was almost secured for Paris Saint-Germain, a point away at Strasbourg, all that was required. It wasn't all plain sailing, as Habib Diallo came close, smashing a long-range strike against the upright. But the man described as Monsieur Football by Frédéric Antonetti in the build-up would be the man to break the deadlock. Well, if you give Mr. Football a bit of space inside the box, the result is often the same. Kylian Mbappe, a bit of hold-up play, and Messi, of course, with the finish. Goal number 496 for the Argentinian maestro, one that almost certainly secured the title, and also moved him one clear of long-term rival Cristiano Ronaldo to become the top scorer in the history of the top 5 European leagues. But Strasbourg weren't about to sit back and let Messi and PSG celebrate their achievements. Clearly hadn't read the Parisian script, as former PSG frontman Kevin Gamero dinked the ball over Donnarumma mere 3 minutes after coming off the bench. The veteran reaching double figures for the season once again. 6 of his last 7, that's been the case. So it would be smiles all round come the final whistle, as Strasbourg confirm their safety and PSG seal their 11th title, now officially standing alone with the most league triumphs in French top flight history. Lens's minute chance of overhauling PSG would have required a monumental turnaround in goal difference. They might have fancied a few against a relegated Ajaccio side and conceded 10 in their previous 2. And indeed, it took just a quarter of an hour for David Mercado to grab a first. Storming in at the back post, getting his head to the ball, heading it home. Once they got going, there would be no stopping them. Second came 6 minutes later. Facundo Medina, a beautiful pass through to Adrien Thomasson, creator of the first goal, converting the second to make it 2-0. Lens breezing to second place. Number 3 would come after 35 minutes. Umar Gonzalez judged to have hauled Kevin Danzo to the ground. Up stepped Luis Openda, slotted his team's 3rd goal of the night and his 20th of the campaign home. As PSG never likely to be overhauled, and Silva the real target for Lens. It was mission accomplished as they secured the automatic Champions League spot for next year. Marseille simply had to beat Brest to have any chance of that automatic qualification spot. For them, it would prove to be mission impossible. First, an Ugo Magnetti strike took a wicked deflection of Chancel Mbemba, left Pau Lopez rooted to the spot. As Brest found themselves in perhaps unlikely lead. Magnetti scores his very first Ligue 1 Uber Eats goal in his 80th top-flight encounter. Midfielder who was born where else but Marseille. They did hand themselves a lifeline, 15 minutes to play, and Mbemba making amends for the deflection at the other end, forcing home an equaliser. Failed to take advantage though. Brest had the last laugh, and Madi Camara ghosted in round the back from a corner to head home a winner. 3 victories on the trot for Brest. Marseille though, 3 is not the magic number as they finish in 3rd. Lille and Nantes met in what was a pivotal game for both sides, but in very different ways. 13 matches without a win, 4 without a goal for the Canaries. There was still hope. Just 1 place and 1 point behind Auxerre and 1 goal up in this game initially. Quentin Merlin with a goal that could have proven magical for Nantes. Fullback with his first of the season. Had a great moment, bouncing on a horror moment for Alexandro. Well, Les Dogs would bite back. Something of a boneheaded challenge that will give them the opportunity to level things up. Adam Unas introduced for the second half, almost immediately brought down by Charles Traoré. Jonathan of David, of course, the man to step up and dispatch the spot kick with panache. Off the woodwork for number 23 in the league. No chance for Alban Lafont. There was a chance for him to claim that corner. He didn't though, gave away a penalty in the process. Saved the first, but was off his line, and on the retake, David found the net again. A huge win for LOSC that moves them up to 4th. A defeat equal parts painful and damaging for Nantes. The eyes of many around the world turn to Monaco for the weekend's historic Formula 1 Grand Prix. The eyes of the Principality's football fans will have been fixed on Brittany, where their club had travelled for a big game with Rennes. And they would have been pleased to see their side take the lead. Lovro Maya with the first goal of the game. Ghosting in to the Monaco penalty area unopposed, finding the net. And the second was just around the corner. Some nice build-up play. And then a perhaps miss-hit cross from Benjamin Bourigeaud would in fact prove to be his second assist of the game. Weary killing the ball dead with his first touch and lashing it into the roof of the net with his second. Rennes' win is their 5th in 7, and it moves them into 5th above Monaco. Aiming to keep their hopes of a top 5 finish alive, Lyon welcomed Reims to the Groupama for the season's penultimate round. They needed some help from those above them in order to do so. They got some help from Reims as Emmanuel Agbadou inadvertently deflected Bradley Barkele's cross into his own net. Barkele then got a more traditional assist, cutting back and setting it up for his captain, Alexandre Lacazette, his 27th league goal of the season, one short of Kylian Mbappe at the top of the charts. That made it 2-0. VR would rule out a number of goals. The third would eventually arrive when Maxence Caqueret's free kick evaded everyone. Goals in back-to-back games for the midfielder. 3-0 the final score. Lyon remained 7th, but retained slim hopes of a European spot. Two of the 4 teams in a very tightly packed mid-table met as Clermont hosted Lorient. Outside were 2 places, but just 1 point above their visitors coming into the match. Seconds after saving a penalty, they would take the lead. Saïf-Eddine Kawi breaking the deadlock that they just left intact. Murray at the setup, and the youngest player in Clermont's history to be involved in a top-flight goal, just 18 years of age. Despite the potential for a back-and-forth second half, the tempo slowly decreased, and the hosts then pulled away definitively in the 76th minute. Coffrey with the second. Another 2 sides separated by not too much in the middle of the pack. Montpellier and Nice squared off. A win over 9th place Nice could close the gap on the 4-way battle. And La Paillade started off in exactly the right way of doing just that. Who else but talisman Teji Savanier to fire the opener low into the bottom corner, just outside the box in the 7th minute. Shota with some lovely work in the build-up. Didier Digard perhaps a little shell-shocked, and he'd be doubly so as the hosts earned themselves a penalty less than 10 minutes later. Arnaud Nordin darting into the box. Of course, Savanier, the man to step up and duly dispatched from 12 yards, drilling into that same bottom corner. 12 for the season now for Savanier, more than any other midfielder in the league. However, it would all change in the second half as the visitors grabbed the game by the scruff of the neck. Ross Barkley got the ball rolling, snatching one back after latching onto a pass from Gaëtan Laborde, finishing past Benjamin Lecomte. The revived Nice remained on top, and soon enough, with a bit of luck, found themselves back on level terms. Former Montpellier striker Laborde returned to haunt his old side, first, one way or another, forcing the ball home. Another headed goal, 22 now in the French top flight for Laborde. And then with 10 minutes remaining, the same man would complete the turnaround. This one a little prettier. Hicham Boudaoui driving forward, Terran Moffi playing his part as well. And Laborde finding his way through the defenders, around the keeper, and finishing the job. No celebration. It's a painful loss for La Paillade, but they remain 12th. Nice regain some momentum. And to avoid a 4th consecutive 0-0 draw in their final home game of the season, Toulouse welcomed Auxerre to the southwest in a match that was far more important for their visitors. Auxerre were looking to stretch the gap from Nantes on the edge of the drop zone. And a brilliant strike from Ryan Ravelisson on the edge of the area. Gave him a great chance of doing just that. Given so much space, making the most of it. Ravelisson is one of only 3 players this season to have scored more than 1 goal without any of them coming from inside the box. This isn't basketball though. They don't count for any more. As demonstrated soon after at the other end, as Raphael Ratal picked out Abu Klal on the 6-yard line. 1-1 the final score. A point further ahead of Nantes, and before kick-off, Auxerre will have to beat Lens in their final game to be sure of survival. Only pride to play for, as long since relegated Angers hosted more recently relegated Troyes. Despite their respective drops to the second tier having been confirmed, both sides surely determined to end their winless run before the end of the season. It was the visitors who put themselves on the path to ending their run. Xavier CHAVALERIN beautifully guiding home a half volley with his left foot. But a stunner would get SCO back on level terms just before half time. Moments after having been denied a penalty, Himad ABDELLI unleashing another half volley, even more impressive than the one at the other end, crashing in off the underside of the bar. Goal from outside the box in 2 consecutive games for ABDELLI. A double change from Alexandre Dujeu late on. One of them was RAOLISOA, and he would curl in an exquisite strike past Liss into the top corner. Initially kept alive, and then beautifully finding the net. 3 beautiful goals to remind onlookers that these two sides can certainly play some nice football, even if they'll be doing so in the second division next season. 28 goals in all. No match with fewer than 2. 16 of the 20 teams getting on the score sheet. No lack of action. And that action saw Paris Saint-Germain, of course, secure that historic 11th title. All eyes will be fixed on the battle for the top 5 in the final round of games between Lille, Rennes and Monaco. And of course, at the bottom, Auxerre and Nantes now a 2-horse race to avoid the drop. Nantes only need a win and nothing else. And they'll have to do so against Angers. The bottom side gives them an opportunity. They'll have to hope that Lens don't lose to Auxerre in their final game.